Go, 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 let's get it. I'm a trapping fanatic, that shit automatic, so I cannot turn it on or off. Bitches all on my dick, then she hop on my dick, I'm like, why you keep hopping on and off? Your bitch all on my dick, she be doing the most, I tell her, little bitch, you so extra. And my gun up on me, but not run up on me, niggas, they wanna fight, they some wrestlers.
In the village of Konoha, there were two orphan brothers who were only a couple years apart. As they grew up into shinobi, the brothers gained popularity throughout the village due to their abilities and strength. The names of this pair were Minato and Sakamo Hatake. Each one had their own specialty that separated them from those around them. Sakamo was known for his skills with his short blade and was given the nickname of Konoha's White Fang. He was fierce in battle, and his strikes were deadly. Not to mention, his control of each basic chakra nature was phenomenal. He was held in such high regard by Hiruzen, the third Hokage, that he even believed Sakamo could go toe-to-toe with all three legendary Sannin, maybe even stronger than them. Minato was known for his speed and his enhancement of the second Hokage's flying Raijin Jutsu. This is what caused him to be known as Konoha's White Flash. Even though he was the younger brother of Sakamo, Minato was known for his skills alone. Within this story, Sakamo would have his son first, being Kakashi. His wife dies in childbirth, but that does not push Sakamo into a depression, as he always has his younger brother with him. Kakashi grows up in an even more loving environment, and his training here was incredible. Kakashi seemed to have even a higher potential. His father Sakamo also wouldn't kill himself. Even when the village turned against him, Minato clears his name and any allegations that he has. Kakashi is trained by not only the third Hokage, his own father, and his uncle on top of all of that. As Kakashi favored fighting with blades more than anything, and due to the three of them, being of the Hatake clan, they gained a name, and they were now feared throughout the 5 nations. When the Third Great War breaks out, the outcome is still the same as usual. However, once it's over, there are many candidates for the title of 4th Hokage. Minato, Sakamo, Fugaku, and a few others are the potential candidates, and the elders will be forced to have a meeting with Hiruzen to see who will be best suited for the job. It ends with Minato being chosen as the 4th Hokage, as once he's appointed as the Hokage, he has to choose a second in command. To everyone's shock, he made Fugaku Uchiha his second in command. After this is when he had a meeting with the Uchiha to try to figure out how to help their reputation within the village. This didn't work due to everything that they tried was being counteracted by Danzo from the shadows. When Danzo tries to frame the Uchiha by stealing files from the Hokage's office, he's then surrounded by the Uchiha and the Hatake clan. You fell right into my trap. This isn't the first time you tried to frame someone to improve your own rank, Danzo. Sakamo walks from the shadows holding out his short dagger-like blade. This is the end for you. Danzo then tries to summon his Anbu, but when they arrive, they reveal themselves to be spies from the Uchiha clan. It's over, Danzo. He's then killed by Sakamo, who looks back at Fugaku. From this day forward, the Uchiha clan will be known as heroes from within the village. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sakamo. We are forever in your debt. Years later, when Naruto is born, the attack on the Hidden Leaf still happens. However, the Uchiha are dispatched on the front lines to protect the village. When the masked man attacks Kushina and Naruto while Minato was busy with the Nine Tails, Sakamo, Kakashi, and Fugaku come to their aid. He attempts to strike the woman, but his attack is then blocked by Sakamo, who sends him flying backwards. Kakashi was about to go help his father, but Fugaku stopped him. Take your aunt away from this area, along with that newborn. Kakashi then nods, grabbing them and leaving. But another man in robes then stands in his way. Fugaku then intercepts this new opponent and tells Kakashi to get going. The younger shinobi then runs off with the newborn baby and his aunt. Fugaku then turns back to his opponent, activating his Sharingan. Tell me why you are here. That isn't a question I'd like to answer as of now. Is that so? A bunch of Anbu with glowing red eyes would then appear around this enemy, who's kind of shocked. Do you believe your Anbu will be enough to deal with me? This is when Fugaku gets a glance at the purple eyes of this strange man. What is that dojutsu? All of you, be on guard. We have no idea what he's capable of. We go back over to Sakamo and the masked man. Thank you, Fugaku. I wouldn't want my son to see me like this. Ah yes, the White Fang of Konoha. A fierce warrior indeed. But I'm not here to fight you, as I know how that'll end. Then what are you here to... The masked man then vanishes and appears right behind Sakamo, warping him away from the Leaf Village. Damn it! Where the hell am I? I need to get back to the Leaf before it's too late. By the end of the night, the Leaf was in shambles, and their Kage was now dead. When Sakamo makes it back, all he sees that's left is a sleeping baby Naruto, who has no seal. He begins to cry, blaming himself for being caught off guard so easily. But this is when someone touches his leg. It was Minato, who was just barely alive. Sakamo, please, raise Naruto for me. I hate to give you another burden, but please. No, Minato. It would be my honor. Now, get some rest. Minato then dies with a smile, and Sakamo stands up as he's found by Hiruzen and Fugaku. Fugaku then bows to him, offering him the title of 5th Hokage, but Sakamo tells him to stand, as he will be the 5th Hokage. Sakamo has his own job to raise this boy. Years go by as Sakamo and Kakashi raise Naruto. He's actually regarded as a prodigy due to his clan's relevance in the shinobi world and the Leaf Village. This would usually cause a child to become very arrogant, but Naruto was the exact opposite. Due to having Kakashi and Sakamo in his life as powerful figures, he was very humble. This Naruto is much more talented than the one we are used to, and he's much more talented than those his age, except for one person that continued to rival him time and time again, that being his best friend, Sasuke Uchiha. The two would do everything together, and Sasuke would be the one that gets them in trouble, because he has a more outgoing personality here. The boys' favorite activity to do together was to gather a group of kids and play tag on the rooftops of buildings in the Leaf Village. One day, while everyone was playing, Ino would begin to fall off of one of the buildings, but before she hit the ground, Naruto caught her. Are you okay, Ino? Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, Naruto. But are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. A fall like that is nothing. Naruto stands back up and holds out his hand. As she takes it, she then falls because of her ankle. Oh, that's not good. Here. Naruto then rips off a piece of his long sleeve and wraps it around her ankle to apply pressure to it. Then he tells Ino to get on his back, as he'll carry her home. The rest of the group then finds them, and Naruto tells them that he'll see them tomorrow, but Sasuke walks over to him and whispers something in his ear. After Naruto takes Ino home, he returns to his own and goes to sleep. In the middle of the night, he gets up and meets with Sasuke, where they would go to the Hokage stone faces. The two then sit there and look at the stars in the sky, and this is when Sasuke decides to stand up. Let's make a promise, Naruto. A promise for what? Let me think. You're telling me you want to make a promise and you didn't even know what it was going to be about? Shut up, I'm thinking. How about this? I'll become the strongest Uchiha there ever was. Naruto begins laughing, but stands up himself. Well, considering we both have so much to live up to, that goal isn't too outlandish. But he'll have to become stronger than a lot of those from the Warring States period. Sasuke nods, knowing that was going to be the case anyway. Naruto then begins to think of a goal, and then a strong breeze then goes by. Alright then. I'll become feared throughout the 5 great nations as the strongest wind user in shinobi history. Sasuke holds up a kunai and then tries to strike his hand after Naruto says this, but he stops him. What the hell are you doing? Are you crazy? We're making a blood oath, Naruto. Has to be a blood promise so we remember it. Sasuke, we are not stabbing our hands and sharing blood. That's gross. How about we do this instead? Naruto takes Sasuke's kunai and stabs it into the stone head of Fugaku, and Naruto does the same with Minato. Once our goals are completed, we'll retrieve these kunai. Sasuke then nods, and the years begin to fly by faster than the two realize, as these two are constantly competing. Naruto trains hard with his cousin and his uncle, mastering many Genjutsu and as many as he can. He does have access to every chakra nature, but he chooses to focus more on lightning and wind, having a stronger suit for those as they come naturally to him. He's regarded as a genius for his creation of many jutsu and his skill with a blade. Sasuke here was also known as a prodigy among the Uchiha, as his Sharingan would already be at his 2 Tomoe state by the time that he was 12 years old. Since Fugaku is mainly at the Hokage's office, he would give his elder son Itachi the title of clan head once he believed that he was ready. Under his guidance, the Uchiha clan became more peaceful and powerful, truly the protectors of the leaf since the Senju were no longer around. No one in the village feared them, as they were often the ones who they would ask help from the most. The stone tablet was also discarded by Itachi due to its cruel advice for the clan and him not believing that it was a true path for them, as things must change as time goes on. Fugaku would also pass the title, the job of being the Anbu head to Shisui Uchiha. Naruto then returns home from the academy wearing a Genin headband, celebrating before even opening the door. As he does open the door and turn on the lights, he sees his family there holding a box for him. He hugs his uncle and cousin as they encourage him to open the box. This is when Naruto sees a short blade in its holster. He then turns back to his uncle and cousin to see their backs towards him, and their blades were on their backs. Sakamo then looks at Naruto. I've decided that it'll be our family tradition for the shinobi of the Hatake clan to use these blades in combat. We are the fangs of our clan. Naruto then puts his own on his back and begins smiling, feeling accomplished. A couple more minutes go by until someone else jumps into their house from a window. The window was always open due to this person coming in a lot. It was no one other than Sasuke Uchiha, who now had a blade on his hip. He sees Naruto's small sword on his back and immediately asks to spar with him. They all then hear a knock on the door, as this is when the Hokage enters with his eldest son. Sorry, Sakamo. We tried to make him wait until the next day, but he couldn't sit still knowing that Naruto would be given a blade as well. Naruto looks back at Sasuke with a smirk. Whoever wins our match will be declared the Rookie of the Year. Naruto sighs, wishing he could go to sleep, but he accepts the challenge nonetheless. They all go outside, and Naruto takes out the blade from his back and looks into it. The moonlight then reflects his eye off of the blade, and he goes into deep thought. I will become the strongest wind user, no matter what it takes. Naruto opens his eyes to see Sasuke stretching, and Fugaku stands on the outside and tells them to begin. Both stare before rushing in with great speeds. Their blades clash, causing sparks to fly as they go back and forth. Sasuke swings his blade and Naruto blocks, kicking him back. Sasuke then uses his blade to stop him from going any further, and he speeds back at Naruto. Itachi asks the others why neither of them have decided to use a jutsu yet, as both have many in their arsenal. Fugaku and Sakamo look at each other, as one of them decides to explain. Each of them wants to push this battle to its fullest, so if one decides to use jutsu early on, that means the other is stronger when it comes to Genjutsu. They all then look back to see Naruto gaining an advantage, dodging each of Sasuke's strikes with no difficulty at all, no matter how fast they were coming. Naruto lets go of his blade mid-swing and punches Sasuke in the face, sending him skidding across the ground, while grabbing his blade before it hits the ground. Naruto looks at Sasuke, who then disappears in smoke. Naruto's eyes would widen as he turns, his head to the night sky to see a giant fireball coming right at him. Naruto sheathes his blade and begins to do hand signs. Winsao, giant hurricane. Naruto inhales a lot of air, and when it's let out, a hurricane surrounds his body and blocks the fireball, as Naruto then turns back to see Sasuke standing there with his Sharingan now active. Flames then begin surrounding his blade as he points it at Naruto, as Naruto would tell him to bring it on. The young Uchiha swings his blade, having flames come off of it. Naruto dodges and looks to his side to see Sasuke right there somehow. The young Uchiha would keep flash stepping around Naruto using the body flicker technique, but to a higher level than most shinobi have it. Sakamo and Kakashi point out his speed, and Fugaku seems to be shocked as well. I had no idea he had begun to train so heavily with this technique. Did you know about this? Itachi shakes his head no, as this is when Shisui appears as well. Looks like my pupil is doing pretty good with the techniques that I've taught him. They look back to see Naruto being outpaced. As Sasuke gets closer, lightning then forms around Naruto's hand as he stabs the lightning blade into the ground, which causes the ground to then come up and separate the two of them for a moment. Naruto wipes the blood from his side where he was cut and begins to focus harder. I'll let the wind guide me. Sasuke then appears behind Naruto, who manages to block and kick him back. Naruto turns back and looks at his family, but they were no longer there. The ground below him then begins to consume his body and hold him in place. And from the outside, he was standing there, still, and sweating heavily. Kakashi was about to jump in, but Sakamo stopped him. Just wait a little longer, Kakashi. I have a feeling that this battle isn't over yet. Within the Genjutsu, Naruto begins to try to break from it, but he isn't able to free his hands at all, as this is when someone appears to him. It's not even a person. It's a wolf. I've chosen you. What the hell? On the outside, the sky begins to darken, and the winds begin to shake the trees. Lightning begins to strike down on the Leaf Village. Sasuke goes in for the final blow, but in this moment, time begins to slow down. Lightning strikes right where Naruto was standing, and this sent Sasuke back. The light dies down and we see Naruto standing there, with his hair beginning to spike up and lightning floating around his body. Naruto's eyes also had a new pattern. He doesn't speak. He begins to harness the winds and lightning around the area. He extends his arm out towards Sasuke, as this is when a large arrow of lightning appears and wind surrounds it, enhancing it. Naruto launches it towards Sasuke, who's then saved by Shisui, who gets him out just in time. The arrow rips through the ground and destroys the trees, leaving devastating damage in this area. It continues to go further within the Leaf Village, but before it could get any closer, Fugaku then gets in its path, summoning his Susanoo and using its blades to then send the arrow into the sky. As the arrow gets out of sight, a huge explosion happens, and the winds from this explosion cause even more damage to the village, but nothing too crazy that couldn't be repaired. We then go back to Naruto, who we see on the ground unconscious as he was having a nightmare. In this horrible reality, Naruto was running away from a storm, watching his friends and family be consumed by it before he fell under the same fate. Naruto wakes up in a cold sweat, sitting up fast while looking at his surroundings. He was home. But what about the fight? He tries to remember and then it slowly clicks. That wolf that he spoke to. What the hell could that mean? He's chosen me. Wait, I know just who to ask. Naruto gets ready for school and then heads off. As no one was home, but this was regular in the morning. When he makes it to the academy, he walks up to Kiba first. Hey Kiba, can I ask you something about your clan? Yeah, Naruto, what is it? Have you ever heard of a talking white wolf? Kiba then gives him the most confused look. Well, have you? No, but I can ask my mom if you want. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Bring back whatever you find. Before Kiba could speak again and question why Naruto wanted to know this, someone then covered his eyes. Guess who? I already know it's you, Ino. You're no fun, Naruto. Anyway, I hope you're on my squad. Shikamaru then speaks. Since you already know what squad you'll be on, there's no point of even hoping your boyfriend's gonna be on the same team. He's not my boyfriend, Shikamaru. Anyway, Naruto, did you feel that storm hit last night? It came out of nowhere. As she says this, Naruto's eyes widen, remembering everything in this moment as he gets flashes of him using that strange power. Yeah, it was pretty intense. Naruto's expression would change as he began to walk past Shikamaru to his seat. He was stopped. It was caused by you, Naruto. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was. But at the same time, I wasn't in control. You're pretty scary, you know that? But I'm not afraid of you. If you need any help, just stop by my house. Yeah, I will. Thanks, Shikamaru. The students begin to take their seats as Iruka walks into the room. He begins to read off who's on each team, and beginning with Team 7, as it will be Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Uchiha, and Neji Hyuga. Team 8 is the same, and then we get to Team 9. Their sensei was Might Guy, and the members were Naruto Hatake, Rock Lee, and Tenten. Their sensei comes to get them, and he takes them to a forest. Well then, it seems I have a bunch of young prodigies in the making. I'll need all of you to show me just how strong you are as of now, so come at me with all the power you have. Naruto takes out his blade, and Might Guy looks down at him with a smile. He's the spitting image of Kakashi from when we were younger. As for the other two, they seem to lack confidence. So, let's begin. As that doesn't matter, as I'm the right sensei to bring it out of them. Might Guy then rushes towards the three Genin, and Naruto readies himself. He dodges the fist of his sensei and swings his blade, only to be hit the after image of his sensei. Guy comes from behind him, but this is when he's forced back by multiple ninja tools from Tenten. Thanks. Yeah, don't mention it. We're a team after all. Might Guy then looks forward at them, and this is when he sees Lee sneak up on him and swing his leg. Outstanding, Lee. The attack is then blocked, and he's thrown down towards a tree. Naruto catches Lee so that he doesn't take any damage, as they both would look towards their sensei. Naruto rushes back in and begins to perform hand signs. Might Guy recognizes this type of jutsu that he was preparing. I see. A wind jutsu. Which one will it be, Naruto? As Naruto gets ready to perform this jutsu, he hesitates because of what happened the last time. So he stops himself, allowing his sensei to land an attack. Naruto then skids on the ground, and their sensei begins to talk. That's enough for now, you three. You all have great potential, but are lacking the confidence to tap into your hidden power. You're allowing something to hold you back. What you three need is some hard training. So let's begin today. Team Guy then begins their training, and Naruto goes to sleep that night, but he has another nightmare and is awoken by his cousin. Is everything okay? You've been screaming in your sleep, Naruto. Kakashi, can you tell me about the fight one more time? Because I don't quite remember it at all. Alright, I'll tell you again. After the story is explained, Naruto sits in thought. Kakashi then turns to him. What's the matter? I lost a fight today because I hesitated when using my signature chakra nature. I didn't even substitute it out for something else because I was just scared to fight in that moment. I didn't want to lose control again. Well, the best advice I can give you is this. Think of a situation where your team is in danger and it requires a jutsu to save them, and you hesitate like you said you did today. What do you think will happen to them? Kakashi then gets up and leaves the room, while saying, I think you've realized the outcome of that type of situation, so make sure it doesn't happen. Naruto will go back to sleep, and the next day, he meets with his team. They continue their rigorous training, and in the afternoon, Kiba finds Naruto. Hey Naruto, you got a minute? Yeah, what's up? Naruto walks over to Kiba, who hands him a book. I asked my mom about it, and she said what you described was an old legend passed down within our clan. Here's the book about it. Hopefully you'll have better luck than I did. Wait, are you sure? Yeah, I think you should keep it anyway. There's nothing I can do with it. It was just collecting dust in my house. Good luck with your training. Kiba walks off as Naruto thanks him and goes back to sit on a rock with his teammates. Lee looks down at the book and asks what it said. Naruto then turns to him confused. Can't you read the words? Lee takes it from Naruto for a moment and looks closer. Sorry, I can't read the language it's written in. Lee then gets up, wishing Naruto luck before heading off to do some more training. Naruto looks down at the book, and then he realizes he understands it perfectly, so is he the only one that can use it? In this book, is it linked to the beast, the wolf? And is that beast sort of like a tailed beast? Naruto heads home and begins studying the book for days while continuing his training with his teammates. He hesitates when using Genjutsu, but his sensei has gotten him to be more expressive. Rock Lee is also a great influence on this version of Naruto, motivating him even further. Days continue to go by until one day, Naruto goes out at night. He meets up with Sasuke, as this is their rematch to test their skills and to see where they're at. Sasuke then tells Naruto that he believes he's stronger and that strange power won't save him this time. Naruto begins to focus but still hesitates during their battle. He allows Sasuke to outpace him and land attacks that he usually could block. His mentality wasn't where it needed to be for this type of intense battle. Sasuke then sends him flying into a large stone, and with the kick, Naruto sits there for a moment. What's wrong with me? Why am I so afraid to lose control? I shouldn't be losing this fight. I made a promise to myself and Sasuke to become the strongest wind user. So why do I keep acting afraid? Naruto is then punched by Sasuke so hard that he's temporarily knocked unconscious. Naruto appears in the same nightmare that he's been having, and he looks back at the storms that were coming straight at him. I can't keep running from this. I have to take it head on. Naruto rushes at the storm in his mind and jumps straight into it. Suddenly, it vanishes, and Naruto appears fine. He then sees the white wolf appear once again. You've passed the first test. Now I'll grant you a small portion of my power. When you look through these eyes, The wind will no longer be an attack you use for the moment. It will become an extension of your body. In an instant, strong winds and lightning surround Naruto's body as he stands back up straight. He looks at his hands to see that he was in control right now, and Sasuke smirked. Good, it seems you can still fight, but that doesn't mean I'll let you win here. Sasuke performs the hand signs for the body flicker as hundreds of versions of him would appear. Naruto's eyes then had that strange pattern once again, and the wind around his body began to move more rapidly. One of the after images then attacks Naruto, but he vanishes, leaving a small trace of wind and lightning behind. In the sky, Naruto appeared, and he noticed that he was able to fly with these sort of new abilities. An extension of my own body. Well, let's see if that's true. Naruto appears back on the ground, and he looks around. All of his opponents then begin to rush in one after another. With even the slightest pressure in the air, Naruto was able to feel and sense the attacks coming, even see them, and he was able to dodge them with his new speed. Each one of the clones then has wind or wind blade that cuts right through them, leaving only the real Sasuke, who would launch a fireball at Naruto, but it's trapped in a strong wind sphere and then thrown right back towards Sasuke with even more force. As he dodges, a lightning bolt almost strikes him. Naruto then appears behind him with a trail of lightning following his body. He surrounds it in his fist, and Sasuke activates his Sharingan just in time and dodges the attack as Naruto's fist caused destruction in the entire area. However, he falls unconscious right after this monstrous attack. Sasuke catches him so that he doesn't fall on the ground and begins smiling. Man, I'm tired of winning out of pity. But good work, Naruto. You seem to be more like yourself now. Sasuke takes Naruto home, and now he was having a different dream. Within this dream, Naruto was at the bottom of a mountain, which had a huge thunderstorm surrounding it. He wakes up the next day looking at his hand, getting flashbacks to that power he used. He stands up looking in his mirror and activates it. So it seems I can use it at will. That's perfect. He turns it off and decides to head off and meet with his team. Team Guy continues their training and low-ranked missions until they get word of the Chunin exams. Their sensei bumps up the intensity of which they train, and they continue to do so until the first part of the exams. When they walk out into the testing building, Team Guy comes into contact with Team Kakashi. Naruto looks at Sasuke and walks towards him as he puts a fist to his chest and looks him in the eyes. I don't plan to lose here. I'm closer to my goal than you think, Sasuke. Yeah, whatever you say, Naruto. Just know, I've grown even stronger, and I won't let you get ahead of me for even a day. They both would smile, and the teams enter the testing room and sit down. During the test, Naruto uses wind to make all the papers around the room fly around as he picks up the paper for someone else, and he erases their name, writing his down instead. In the next part of the exams, Team Guy would enter the forest as they run into a team from the Sound Village or Grass Village. Naruto looks forward and Rock Lee would get ready. One of the shinobi then appear in front of Naruto with great speed, but the attack is blocked by a layer of wind. The air is no longer the domain for regular shinobi, Naruto would say. The sound ninja is then sent flying back. And Tenten sees another, who swings down a kunai towards her, but she summons a staff with a blade on it and blocks it. The shinobi is shocked, but before he could process the weapon that she was using, his shoulder was then sliced open. How did she do it? This is when the shinobi noticed the staff to see that it had blades on both sides. Tenten then rushes at her opponent and swings the staff, causing him to jump back in order to dodge. He blocks the next attack with a kunai, however she spins the staff on her neck and cuts the shinobi across his chest. He looks down at the blood, but also sees an explosive tag sitting on the ground. As the explosion happens, Tenten jumps away onto a branch, where she would look over to see her two teammates. Naruto's opponent was unconscious, and Lee's was just barely breathing as his ribs were caved in. And I thought I was the one going overboard, but you two made what I did look like child's play. Yeah, but your staff is the coolest one I've ever seen. What should we do now, Naruto? We already have our scroll. Do you think Guy Sensei would want us to find someone stronger to fight? Naruto then looks at Lee and sits down. Yeah, you're right. I'll look for us. Make sure you guys stay on guard. Naruto then sends a wind throughout the entire area, as he's able to feel and sense the chakra of others, and even see it. This is when he sees a giant snake. Over with Team Kakashi, the three had already gotten their scroll as well, but decided to take a short break before going to the tower. This would be their mistake, as this is when Orochimaru appeared and began to attack them. The group starts to lose this battle, even though they were all at the level of Chunin already. This is when the giant snake appeared and caught Sakura off guard. Sasuke could see this, but from where he was too far to do anything. The snake rises and descends down fast to try and consume her, but his head is then sliced clean off by a wind blade. Orochimaru is then sent flying as well by the fist of Rock Lee. Sasuke looks above him to see Naruto floating there. Well, I'll be damned. Looks like you still remember how to use that power. And it looks like to me, you three would have died if I didn't come here. Shut up. Just make sure you're ready for when he comes back. Is he truly that strong, Sasuke? No. He's not even strong enough to fight my elder brother. But he's stronger than us. And that's the problem. Naruto then smirks and sends wind somewhere else. There's 6 of us now. So how about we don't worry about it? We'll try to take him down right now. Orochimaru comes back, and he uses speed to blitz the group and appear behind Sasuke and Sakura. Tenten then appears with them and swings her staff while Rock Lee throws another punch. Orochimaru dodges the punch and uses a kunai to block the staff, but before he could make another move, 5 slashes of wind were then seen coming right at him. He dodges the wind blade by jumping into the air, but this is when Sasuke and Sakura both send a fireball up towards him. The large fireball then consumes and scorches him, leaving the Sannin burned. But he regurgitates his own body in perfect condition. This is when Neji appears behind him, and he closes some of his chakra points. Orochimaru then stands back up straight, beginning to laugh. Seems I have to try a little bit harder to take down 6 Genin. Orochimaru was about to continue until a chill went down his spine as the wind in the area became colder. He looks at all 5 standing in front of them, but there was one missing. None of them gave him the feeling of uneasiness, so where was this coming from? He then turned his head to see Naruto standing there with a lightning arrow aimed straight at him. The concentration of that attack is enough to rip through the Leaf Village itself. I can't let him fire it. Orochimaru makes no sudden movement, but he stares at Naruto. You know, if you miss that arrow, I'll kill your friends. Who said I was gonna shoot it? I was just buying us some more time until they got here. Orochimaru was puzzled by this until his eyes would widen, seeing the 2 figures that now stand on a branch above Naruto. Itachi and Shisui Uchiha. Good work, you guys, but we'll take care of it from here. Orochimaru then summons his snakes to act as a distraction for his escape. The 2 teams then continue towards the tower together for the preliminary matches to be announced. The first match was Neji vs Kiba, and that goes how you would expect it to go, as none of the matches truly change until we get to Hinata vs Tenten. Tenten here completely dominates Hinata, but she gets off with way less injuries than she had in the original. The final match of the first round was Naruto versus Temari, both wind users, And the fighters jump down, and Temari decides to try and get under Naruto's skin, as he seemed too relaxed. "You're lucky my brother didn't finish off your teammate. He was so weak. Even your so-called sensei had to step in just to save him." On the surface, you could see Naruto's rage truly begin to boil. Temari opens her fan and uses a Genjutsu once the fight begins, but Naruto walks through it and keeps beginning to walk towards her. No matter what wind attack she used, Naruto wasn't affected. Sakamo, who overheard what she said, smirked. She really shouldn't have said that. Fugaku, who was sitting next to him, then turns to him. "I always thought Naruto was rather passive." Sakamo then continues. "He is. He's a kind soul at heart. But that kind heart often turns to a raging storm before he even knows it." Temari keeps trying to push him back, but it doesn't work. Eventually, the two were face to face and she was trembling. "I'll make you pay for disrespecting my team and sensei." Lightning then completely surrounds his fist as he grabs her face, slamming her into the ground. As he does so, lightning then shoots up out of the arena, and when it goes away, there was a huge crater as she was unconscious with blood all around her body. "The next time you say something about them, I'll kill you." Naruto then walks from the crater with cheers in the arena for him. The Genin are then given a month of training, and Naruto continues to decide to learn to control his tempest release so that he could become even stronger. During this time, he also learns to perfect more jutsu of this power. The month goes by rather fast, and the first match that we get to see was Sasuke versus Tenten. The battle begins with Sasuke taking out his blade and Tenten doing the same with her staff. The two fighters then slowly circle each other until Tenten takes a step towards Sasuke. The young Uchiha then activates his Sharingan and uses the body flicker. Tenten is able to hold her own for just a while, but she loses just by numbers alone. The next fight after this was Naruto versus Gaara. Each fighter has a serious expression as they know what's at stake right now. Before the fight even begins, Naruto reaches into his pocket and puts on a different headband instead of his own, as he then turns his head towards Lee, who was watching in his wheelchair, missing his own headband. He bows to his teammate and then turns to his opponent. Many in the stands begin to doubt Naruto, but Lee exclaims that Naruto won't lose here, because that's not the type of person he is. He will win this fight, even if it puts his own life at risk. The first thing that Naruto does is take his blade off of his back as sand begins to fly towards him. He dodges it easily, but he exclaims that it's faster than before, but he can keep up with it. Naruto jumps towards Gaara, but sharper sand pillars then fly towards him. He jumps over one and ducks under another. He then does hand signs, forming mud pillars that shoot up into the sky throughout the arena. And this lifts him above Gaara, who loses sight of him. Now, I can get closer to him like this. Naruto vanishes and Gaara begins to slowly twist and turn to try and figure out where he was. His sand then automatically blocks a wind blade from the south. There you are. Now die! He sends his sand in that direction, grabbing and pulling Naruto to him. As he squeezes Naruto, he then vanishes, but wind blades then cut Gaara on his face and arms. Damn you, Naruto. Show yourself so I can kill you. What are you talking about, Gaara? I've always been right here. Naruto then reveals himself to Gaara, who tries to capture him with sand, but he vanishes with a trace of lightning left behind. Naruto continues to blitz Gaara until the pillars were destroyed by him. Naruto was then seen with small injuries on his head and shoulder. Damn, he's a lot faster than I thought he would be. No wonder Lee had to get rid of his weights. It seems I should do the same though. Naruto takes off his own weights, shocking everyone, and throws them to the ground. Everyone watching then looks at my guy, wondering if his other student Tenten had this, and surprised that Naruto would even consider doing this type of training, knowing the person that he was. Gaara watches as Naruto has lightning that surrounds his hand. My cousin doesn't even know that I've advanced his technique and made it more effective. I want you to try and block it with your sand, because you won't be able to. Let's see how fast you really are. Naruto then has wind surround the lightning that's on his hand, and in a flash he's now behind Gaara with his hand raised to the sky, with the lightning still on it. Gaara then looks at his shoulder to see an open cut with blood pouring out of it fast. All of those watching had their jaws drop because they didn't even see Naruto move. Fugaku then turns to Sakumo. Did you see what he did? Yeah. It's almost scary a mere genin could perform such a deadly jutsu. It seems he's even incorporated elements of the flying Raijin from the second Hokage, the lightning blade from Kakashi, and his own wind step jutsu into one move to create a deadly S-rank jutsu. If this was a fight to the death, he could have killed Gaara right there. However, something like that surely has a toll on a shinobi of his age. They look down to see Naruto heavily breathing. Gaara reacts fast, sending more sand his way, but the other's shoulder is then cut open with the same attack. Fugaku and Sakumo have the same reaction, believing that this attack could only be performed once by Naruto. But being able to do it back to back with such accuracy was astonishing. This is when Gaara slowly begins to transform and the attack on Konoha begins. Shinobi and Anbu are dispatched immediately, and Naruto and Sasuke begin to chase down Gaara, who went into the forest. When they make it into the forest, they both stand and look at the One-Tails, who was looking down at them. Naruto activates his strange powers, and his pattern on his eye would change as well. Hey Sasuke, do you think you can keep up with me? Shut up, Naruto. I wasn't going to reveal this to the finals because I knew I'd be fighting you. But I've become a Jinchuriki as well. I've even earned the trust of that fox. Sasuke then enters a one-tailed cloak, shocking Naruto. Well, I'll be damned. That'll make things even easier for us with you being this strong too. So Sasuke, you ready? Yeah. I've been waiting on a chance to test out the powers of this so-called strongest tailed beast. Sand then comes flying down at the pair, who would vanish in a second. Each one of them was seen on either side of the tailed beast and began to attack. Sasuke was using the power of the Nine Tails and the Chakra Cloak to enhance his fire release jutsu, and Naruto was using his tempest release to cut through the sand that was coming his way. More of it then comes towards him and surrounds him in a ball. Sasuke sees this, but smirks, continuing the fight, getting closer and closer to the head where Gaara was. As if he'd let something like that kill him. Stop playing around, Naruto. This is when the sand is blown away by lightning. That was amusing. But why don't we end this? Naruto and Sasuke then appear on the head of the tailed beast, only to see it go to attack the Leaf Village. Each one of them moves to defend their home, taking significant damage from this attack. Naruto looks forward towards Gaara, and he blocks more sand with a wall of lightning and wind. Sasuke, sync an attack with me. Yeah, I've been studying this one attack as the inspiration was you. I was going to use it against you, but I guess this would be a perfect time as well. Sasuke does the hand signs, and an arrow of flames then appears. Naruto does the same exact thing with wind and lightning, as each shouts out their respective attack names. Flame Phoenix Arrow, Tempest Arrow. The two attacks are then launched at great speeds, causing them to merge into one. That attack would then burst through the center of the tailed beast, as Gaara would then fall to the ground, and his siblings would arrive. Naruto looks towards them, and then back at Gaara, who is asleep. Due to the actions against the Leaf, I'm placing him under arrest. Temari and Kankuro tell him that they won't let him, which causes Sasuke to step beside Naruto as both of them would then flare their bloodlust and chakra, causing the Sand siblings to see the silhouette of a fox and a wolf behind each of them. Both then prepare, but they couldn't have for this type of battle. Naruto and Sasuke would show no mercy as each of them, in a blink of an eye, takes down one of the Sand siblings. The Konoha crush then ends with less casualties and the disbandment of the grass village, since Orochimaru was killed by Fugaku and Sakamo. Since the Leaf didn't need another Kage, they would interrogate the Sand Shinobi to further gain information. 2 weeks quickly go by as Naruto continues to have the same strange dreams, but also strange visions as well. One night, as he sits outside the Leaf village, within it, outside his home, the wind blows so strong that it causes Naruto's head to turn towards the gate. This is where he would announce his departure from the Leaf the next day. His friends and family are shocked that he's leaving, and Sakamo and Kakashi would ask why and if they could go with him. Naruto then says it's something that he has to do alone, but he truly didn't know where he was going himself. It was going to be a strange land where he believes only he could survive. He was going out to find that wolf, and he didn't know when he'd come back. Before he leaves, Fugaku then promotes him to the rank of Chunin, along with many other shinobi. As Naruto stands at the gate of the Leaf Village with a robe on, Sasuke walks up to him. "I don't know when you'll be coming back, but when you do, we'll have another battle." "Yeah, we will. Just make sure you don't die before then, Naruto." Naruto nods and waves to the rest of them and vanishes from the gate. Naruto allows the winds to guide him, and it leads him to an area in which continuous thunderstorms would happen. Mountains then surround this strange land, and lightning strikes down rapidly here. For some reason, Naruto felt at peace in all this chaos. He felt more at home than anything. The lightning strikes the ground, and Naruto looks towards the mountains in front of him, and he throws off of his hood. He begins to climb this mountain, but is thrown off by the strong winds back to the base. Naruto smirks, wiping off his face and going back up. Lightning then strikes down at him, but he uses his own to clash. From the side, a strong wind attempts to blow him off but isn't able to. This is when we saw Naruto was beginning to glow. As if I'd go down that easy. Naruto then tries to fly up the mountain, but as he gets higher, the wind gets stronger, as they are able to push him back down. How? Just how is that possible? Did you really think you could make it up this mountain without even mastering the power I've given to you? It seems I've wasted my choice in you, Naruto. The wolf then begins to walk up the mountain with ease. The wind doesn't faze it at all, and when the lightning strikes down, the wolf counters without even looking at it. The wolf then turns its head to see that Naruto is following. More lightning then strikes down at Naruto, and he uses a lightning jutsu to counter it. Naruto looks up at the wolf, who then backheels one of its legs, sending a huge wave of wind and lightning that sends Naruto crashing down. Why do you still desire to use hand signs, even though I've entrusted you with the power of the storms? The wolf then runs up the mountain, leaving Naruto in thought while on the ground. He sits up holding his side, realizing that some of his ribs were now broken, as he would also cough up a little bit of blood. Damn it. Now there's no way I'll be able to get up that mountain and meet that damn wolf. I have to get over these mountains somehow and find answers. Naruto then goes to his bag using a medkit that he had to wrap up his body, and he begins to meditate so that he could clear his mind. He thinks of every moment when he used Tempest Release, but he believed he was doing just enough. He believed that he had already mastered the power, but it seems that it was just the beginning. He was only at the surface level still. Learning to use it at will was just the start. He was given much more power than he actually realized. Naruto gets up from where he was meditating and goes to a hill not too far from the mountains. On this hill was a cave so he would take shelter there for a while. He stands outside the cave near the trees and begins to breathe in and out. If it truly is an extension of my own body, then I should be able to replicate what he has done. Naruto's eyes begin to glow, and a strange aura appears around his body. He pulls back his fist, but it's stopped by the hand of an unknown person. Whoa now, that's dangerous. Not controlling that type of power would surely backfire on your own body. Naruto looks at this figure to see an older woman. Who are you? We can get to that later. Why did you come with me for a while? We can do something about those injuries. Naruto was suspicious, but he decided to trust the woman. She takes him into her home, where he would lay down on a table and is given an examination. What the hell is this, kid? What are you doing all the way out here? I could ask you the same thing, but I came to find a mysterious wolf, believe it or not. The woman then gives a shocked expression. So, another outsider trying to capture the ruler of the skies for his powers. Good luck, kid, because that won't be easy at all. What do you mean capture? I came here to ask him why he's chosen me. The woman turns to Naruto, telling him to lay back down on the table, as she tends to his wounds and tells him to get some rest as she'll be back. She goes far away from the house to a high area where she would kneel to the wolf. My lord, I didn't know you had chosen a new successor. Yes, he is a prodigy, but he needs guidance, as he fully doesn't understand what he's truly capable of. So, would you like me to train him? Yes, that is fine. If he is not able to climb over the mountains in 8 months, then kill him and I will find a new successor. She nods and the wolf vanishes with a gust of wind. She then goes back to see Naruto outside her home doing one-armed push-ups with a clone of himself on his back. This kid is insane. Just what kind of training did he do as a shinobi before he came here? Hey kid, you need to stop that. You have 3 broken ribs. Naruto ignores her and keeps training his body. She decides to go in and get some rest for the night, and when she wakes up and goes outside in the morning, Naruto is still training. His body was covered in sweat, as this is when lightning began to surge around his body. He held out 2 fingers, and he twisted his body around slowly, as this is when lightning began to surge around the tips and shot into the sky. However, right after this, Naruto fell to his knees, and he began to cough up blood as he looks at his hand, and his vision became a little blurry as well. What's going on? This has never happened before. Why? I don't have time to be injured like this. The woman then walks over and stands over Naruto. Your body isn't responding well to the way that you use the elements. Your shinobi principles are blocking you from becoming stronger. So how about I help you out with that? My name is Emmy. And you? My name is Naruto Hatake. She smiles, noticing the Hatake name. Your family is quite known. Yeah, they are. And I'll make sure I'm the most known out of all of them for becoming the strongest wind user in shinobi history. She smiles, taking Naruto back inside, and has him rest for a whole week before actually beginning his training. He still has his broken ribs, but they can do light training until then. They go to an area where they would see wind and lightning that was very potent in the style of hurricanes, as she has him meditate here. Close your eyes and envision what I tell you to. What do you see when you think of lightning? I see something destructive that comes in a flash and leaves just as quick. That is only the beginning of it, Naruto. Lightning can be so much more than destruction. What about wind? I see something calm that can also turn into a fury. What do you see when they're combined together then? Naruto tries to imagine it, but he can't. It seems you can't think of something. Tell me, Naruto, why do you choose to only use one of the elements at a time, instead of using them together to truly utilize your tempest release. Naruto opened his eyes and turned to Emmy. He sits in thought before standing back up. He thinks of the hand signs, but she stops him. Sorry, but those won't work for this anymore. Tempest release is something that requires only your will to make it happen. Try to channel both of them at the same time. Emmy then backs away from Naruto, who closes his eyes and grits his teeth. His hair begins to rise with the lightning and wind slowly appearing around his body. Lightning comes up from the ground but vanishes in an instant as Naruto then falls to one of his knees, sweating with the lightning fully vanishing. When you try to channel these two elements, are you making sure that you're using them equally? Or are you focusing on one too heavily? Do you believe the wind is the only thing that will truly make you the strongest wind user? The lightning goes just with it as they work hand in hand together. Naruto looks at her as she continues to explain before they would continue his training. 4 months go by fast as we see Naruto meditating within a tornado. Lightning strikes around his body, but his eyes remain closed. Emmy was standing next to the white wolf from a distance, watching Naruto and the tornado that surrounded the boy. How is he progressing? He's doing great. His performance is actually scary. He's learned to harness tempest release with ease and has no drawbacks from the amount of power that he has now. This is when they watch as the tornado around Naruto's body is then compressed into his hands. Emmy's eyes would then widen as she's shocked, as this is something that she didn't even teach him. It seems he's even succeeded my own expectations. As they watch Naruto stand in the tornado, his hands then transfer the aura of wind and lightning that would then begin to surround his body. Naruto pulls back his fist, launching it forward, causing wind and lightning to come off in a spiral-like motion and destroy everything around himself. Naruto then looks behind to see the white wolf standing there. So, you've grown past your previous limitations. Naruto stays silent for a moment before speaking. Why me? Because you are the one who will help decide the fate of this world. Why is that? There's a threat in the shadows that will cause more destruction than you can imagine. It's up to you to decide what you'd like to do. You already know what I'll do based on who I am. Yes, I've known for quite some time. Tell me something though, Naruto. Do you still believe that you can become the strongest wind user in shinobi history? Yes, with all my heart I will become the strongest wind user. The wolf would then smirk at Naruto as his eyes become red. Show me how badly you want to become the strongest. The wolf then transforms into a human-like form. Naruto stands there, and he would get in a fighting stance. The white-haired man then appears right in front of Naruto trying to punch him, but he barely dodges, and his shoulder is then cut open by the blade step. Lightning is then seen around Naruto's hand as he tilts his head back. The man then regenerated the damage and looked towards Naruto. Good. Get rid of all those silly hand signs. They will no longer be useful to the powers that you've been granted. Feel it rush through your body. Allow the lightning to flow through your veins as an extra boost of strength and speed. All the wind. Allow it to guide you and create a path for your victory. Only when you can see that bright path of wind will you be able to get over those mountains. This is when the white-haired man would vanish in the wind, and Naruto sits there in thought. If the wind shows me a path, I'll follow it, even to the ends of the earth. Naruto goes deeper into the area where tornadoes and hurricanes raged on. He began to train there for another month until one day he has a breakthrough. A brighter, glowing wind begins to guide him through the storms as he runs through, avoiding the wind and lightning. He follows closely, not letting it get away, even for a second. Lightning strikes down in front of him, but everything around him seems to move slow as he follows this sort of strange wind line. He then flips around the lightning that strikes down, and he continues to follow the trail until he makes it to a clear area on a cliff where he would look off. He stands there looking at the sunset as Naruto thinks about his home, promising to become stronger before going back. He turns back around looking towards the mountain as another week goes by as he begins to journey back up. The strong winds at the base have no effect on him as he continues to climb up. Naruto begins to see the trail, but it's dim here. He continues to follow it until it becomes brighter. Lightning continues to strike down at him, causing the mountain to shake. Rocks then begin to fall towards Naruto's head, but they're shattered from his own lightning. Naruto then continues up as the wind path becomes brighter. Naruto then jumps over the next rock only to be shocked by lightning. However, he condenses it into his body to give him a boost in power. Hours later, the bleeding hand of Naruto pulls himself up the mountain. Blood rolled down certain parts of his body, but he had made it. Naruto looks to see Emmy and the wolf sitting there, waiting on him. The wolf walks over to Naruto, congratulating him. The rest of your training will be completed here. 2 more years then go by, as within the Leaf Village, a raging storm was happening. However, this lightning was red instead of the usual blue and yellow that they were used to seeing, which was strange to them. It was raining pretty hard, and in the Hokage's office, Sasuke was getting his promotion to head of the Uchiha police force, as this is when the windows were blown open. The windows were then closed, but they all then hear a familiar voice say congratulations to Sasuke, as they turn to the back of the room to see Naruto leaning against the door. Before they could speak, Naruto walked back over to the window. We can have a celebration like this with this kind of weather. His hands were still in his pockets, but red bolts of lightning then appear around his body, with wind suddenly surrounding them and pushing them into the air fast. Then, as they went into the sky, an explosion would happen, sending shockwaves throughout the village below. This large-scale attack caused the clouds to separate, allowing the sun to then be seen and shine down on the Leaf Village. Sasuke was about to say something, but a kunai was tossed into his hand. It was old and pretty rusty. Sasuke's eyes would widen, realizing this was the kunai that Naruto had placed on the stone faces a long time ago, which means that Naruto believes that he is now the strongest wind user. Sasuke then demands to spar with Naruto to see how far each of them has come in the time that's passed. Sasuke believed he was stronger, but he wasn't confident due to Naruto's short display of his power. Fugaku then sends word to Sakamoto and Kakashi, and the group heads away from the Leaf Village to witness this battle. Both Naruto and Sasuke seem to be very excited, but Sakamoto noticed something different about Naruto. The air around him seems a little off. If I didn't know any better, Naruto had to become an entirely new person in the time that he was gone. The battle begins and Naruto appears right next to Sasuke, who swings his blade, but Naruto dodges this as well. Naruto continuously outspeeds Sasuke, who has no answer for this. Naruto's new speed was amazing, as he was barely visible on the battlefield. Sasuke would activate his Sharingan, and he gets a glimpse of the next attack, and when he manages to clash fists with Naruto, he smiles until he sees Naruto's expression. Why does he look bored? Is he not excited about this fight because of how strong he's become? I won't allow him to make a mock of me in front of my own family. Sasuke then lands a small attack and flips away from Naruto. This is when he enters a one-tailed state, but the expression of Naruto remains the same. Sasuke jumps at Naruto, who blocks with his fist. Tell me, Sasuke, during the 3 years, did you train as if your life depended on it? Or did you train lightly, waiting for the next day to come, knowing that it would come? Naruto then kicks him back and throws off his jacket. He had no shirt under, as they all would see the scars on his body from constantly fighting. I've trained hard enough to declare myself the strongest wind user. Suddenly, winds began gathering around Naruto's body, as so did the red lightning began to appear. Naruto's eyes locked on Sasuke, who seemed to take a step back, but he appeared right next to him, cutting open his shoulder. Before Sasuke could even realize what happened, wind blades began to fly towards him. He uses a fire style jutsu to counter him, just barely blocked him, but Naruto then appears behind him again. Red bolts of lightning and wind would also appear behind Naruto, as Sasuke would quickly enter a four-tailed state, which would allow him to barely avoid the fatal wounds that these attacks would have caused. But this is when his body is surrounded in wind and lightning. It spins him around in the air in a tornado-like form, and he could do nothing about it. Naruto sees the fox cloak slowly vanish from his body as he decides to release him and allow him to fall to the ground. Naruto stands there looking at a hill while Sasuke was staring off at him. Sasuke, you'll know when you can compete with me, when you're able to do this. Naruto pulls his blade from his back and uses Tempest released in conjunction with his blade to then slice an entire hill in half. Those watching dropped their jaws at what Naruto had just done with little to no effort at all. Sasuke looked up at Naruto, who held his hand out and grabbed it. Alright then, Naruto. You're on. I'm going to defeat you one day. Naruto nods, telling Sasuke that he'll be waiting for it. The group returns to the Leaf Village, and after a couple of days they get word of the attack in the Land of Wind, specifically in the Sand Village, as their Kazekage has been captured. Fugaku decides to dispatch two teams to head that way. Team Guy and Kakashi then move out together. I will mention that Tsunade and Jiraiya are back within the Leaf Village because of Fugaku's leadership and how he's helped the village. Tsunade was now the head of the medical branch, and Jiraiya was still doing his research, which means that each shinobi squad now has a healer on it, just for those deadly situations. Both teams had its healer, with one being Sakura and the other being Tenten, as well as Ino and Hinata for their respective teams. As they all studied under Lady Tsunade during the time skip, Sakura was still her greatest student. Not only did she master her healing techniques, but she also learned the 100 seal technique. Her Sharingan was also very developed by this time at 3 Tomoe state. The group travels together and gets closer and closer to the sand when they're surrounded by shinobi in robes. These weren't the main Akatsuki members that we're used to. These were just the rogue shinobi that they had recruited. But let's talk about the Akatsuki as well since we're here. Since they didn't have Itachi, it was a little harder to get their main members that they were used to. So, they were forced to get others from other villages, as this was all due to the Uchiha clan being alive in this timeline. As the group was surrounded, they prepared themselves, but Naruto steps in front of them. The rest of you go on ahead. Lee, stay here with me, we'll take care of it. Strong winds then send all the shinobi in robes into the air, allowing the rest of them to pass. Rock Lee and Naruto then stand back to back while looking at all of them that surround them now. I know you've been training harder than anyone else in the Leaf Village. So, show me just how much you've improved, Lee. This would be when Lee enters a second gate without any struggle at all. Naruto has wind and lightning surround his body, and the Akatsuki members around them begin to get scared. Right now, they were more dangerous, and they were in way more than they had bargained for. Naruto and Lee then both vanished from where they were previously standing. As everyone else continued on forward, they felt the shockwaves from the battle going on behind them. Naruto tilts his head back, looking at 5 shinobi jump down from the skies. Big mistake coming from the air. Naruto swipes his hand, and all of them were cut in half by wind and lightning. Lee jumps over water jutsu and landed a strong blow to his opponent's gut. He then kicks another one that was sneaking up behind him, and he jumps into the air, spinning over, doing a leaf hurricane to another, knocking him out. 3 shinobi then stand in trees above him and launch down elemental jutsu. At the same time, but Lee was saved by wind and lightning. All three shinobi seemed confused, as Lee was to a certain degree, because when he looked over at Naruto, he wasn't even facing him. Lee would then blitz these shinobi and Naruto would take down the rest. The two then stand there looking at the fallen shinobi on the ground. Such weaklings. But this symbol on their robes, I've never seen anything like it before. Naruto takes one of the robes from them and decides to bring it back to the leaf once they're done. Lee then points out that the others seem to be pretty far ahead, but Naruto says that won't be a problem at all. He stands closer to Lee as wind begins to surround them. By this time, the others had made it to the sand and continued on with Granny Chio to save Gaara. Sakura and Tenten were left at the hospital to tend to the injuries, the people who were injured. They'll come as soon as they get done. As soon as the group exits, the sand village, to catch up to the Akatsuki, Lee and Naruto appear from within a sand tornado. Good. Looks like we made it in time. Let's get going. They can't be too far. The group then heads forward, first catching up to Sasori. Naruto and Sasuke decide to continue forward, leaving Sasori behind for the group to take down. As the duo gets closer and closer to Deidara, they see how high up he was, on a clay bird, and Naruto decides that they need to get up there right now. Sasuke then notices that wind begins to appear under his feet, allowing him to ascend and run on the air. The two would get closer and closer, and Sasuke looks over to see red lightning in Naruto's hand. He's going to use that attack that he used in the Chunin exams. He has to. Maybe if I turn my Sharingan on just in time, I'll be able to see it and replicate it. As Sasuke turns on his Sharingan, Naruto vanishes, and Deidara's arm is seen falling to the ground. Deidara then looks forward to see Naruto standing there while holding the Kazekage. Hey Sasuke, catch. Naruto drops Gaara down to Sasuke, who would catch him while looking back up at him. There's no point for me to help you in this one. He's already defeated. I'll let you have fun with such a weakling. Sasuke goes back down to the ground with Gaara and watches the fight. Deidara then asks Naruto how he was floating in the air right now. Naruto, who was staring at the clouds around them, then answered, "It's because this is my domain, as I rule here." What are you talking about? Have you gone crazy? Declaring yourself a king and a ruler is not artistic at all. It's basic. What could you possibly be the king of? Haven't you noticed it yet? I expected a shinobi who could capture a Kage would notice my abilities, especially if they far surpass your own. You idiot. I'll destroy you with my own art, even with on one arm. My abilities are no joke. Clay birds and dragons begin to form, and as they are created, they begin to explode on Deidara, who takes heavy damage. He was seen bleeding while sitting on top of the clay dragon. How are you able to do that? Naruto looks over at him with a blank expression. You chose defeat by beginning this battle in my domain. I rule over the skies and lightning and determine their actions. Deidara calls his bluff, but Naruto decides to humor these claims and doubts. When do you think it rained in this land last? Deidara says he has no idea, as he believes it's never even rained here since it was always a desert. Naruto then smirks, having his eyes go red, with lightning surging around his body. Dark clouds begin to form, and this was strange. It begins to not only rain, but storm across the lands. Deidara was in shock, wondering if it was just by chance, but that would be impossible. He looks back over at Naruto to see a small blade in his hands. He holds it up to the dark clouds, and red lightning strikes down upon the blade and extends high into the skies. Naruto swings it down, cutting Deidara in half within a second. The battle was already over with. And over at the battle with Sasori, they were overwhelming him and his puppets. It was coming to an end, but this is when a tunnel of wind would consume him and his remaining puppets, destroying him and them. The group then looks in the direction to see Naruto and Sasuke standing there. Alright, mission complete. Let's wrap this one up. After they stabilize Gaara, the group heads back to the Leaf Village and Naruto gives the ropes to Fugaku. But now they had even more time to prepare, so different shinobi begin training even harder here. Naruto himself was studying under Jiraiya because he didn't know his father. Within a day, he learned how to do the Rasengan, and the next day he learned to enhance it. Due to the way that he used Tempest Release, he could form a Rasengan without even using his hands. The Leaf then gets word of the Akatsuki in the Land of Fire once again, but there were reports of 3 of them this time. This is when they sent out Team Azuma, along with Naruto and Kakashi, as the rest of the teams were so focused on their training, but this wouldn't be a problem. The group makes it into the town to see multiple buildings destroyed and people dead. They walk around with their guard up to find 3 Akatsuki members, sitting on a destroyed building. Naruto steps in front of the group and demands to know what their end goal was. Why were they doing this? None of them would give him an answer, as each of them then told Naruto their own personal goal. They then asked why the Leaf Shinobi would come here if it's just going to get them killed. Don't make me laugh. I would take down all 3 of you by myself, if I really wanted to. Hidan then stands up with his scythe, pointing it at Naruto. If you're so confident, why don't we put that to the test? Naruto then looks back at his friends and family. I'll do this one alone. I'll be fine. These 3 don't even have a clue who I am. Naruto pulls out his blade and a kunai. Alright then, let's do this. The 3 Akatsuki members then vanish and rush straight at Naruto. He blocks the blades of Hidan and Kisame while also slamming his knee into Kakuzu. Naruto then flips into the air and forms 10 Rasengans that fly down at great speeds, landing on them. They recover, but they look up to see that Naruto is no longer there in the air. Kisame then felt that something was off. The blade of Naruto was stabbed into his chest. Hidan then jumps at Naruto, who will pull out the blade and blocks with a wind attack. A surge of lightning then entered his body and stopped his heart, but he continued to breathe, which shocked Naruto. He swings his weapon against Naruto, who would then send him into the skies. He then looks at the remaining 2. Kisame was barely able to stand with such a fatal injury to his chest, while Kakuzu seemed unfazed by the injuries of his allies. Naruto then holds his hand above his head, forming a giant Rasengan, but then wind and lightning began to surround it. The mere presence of this attack caused the ground to rip from under Naruto's feet and float towards it as it was absorbed into the attack. Kakuzu began to get worried, but this is when Naruto vanished, appearing right behind both of them. The attack then consumes them, vaporizing their bodies as nothing was left behind. Naruto then allows Hidan to then fall back down to the ground, and he crashes hard. Naruto then begins to interrogate him, but he's not exactly able to extract any information, but Shikamaru suggests that they just bury him. After that's done, the group stays in the town to help rebuild some of it, and when they return, a meeting would be held with the Leaf's elders and strongest shinobi. Sakamo, as the Hokage's advisor, tells them the information that they have come across with the help of Jiraiya. They believe Pain to be the leader of this organization. They don't know what his end goal is, but they know that he wants all the tail beasts for some sort of plan. With Jiraiya's spy network, they believe that Pain resides within the Hidden Rain village, and the Hokage wants to send out a team of shinobi to take him down. This mission will not only require stealth, but strength and guts. Those who they have elected for this mission might not come back home. Therefore, they are allowed to refuse this S-rank mission. When I say your name, you are allowed to refuse or accept. Sakamo then picks up a paper and pen. The first member elected is Itachi Uchiha. He stands up once his name is called. I accept. Good. You're the group's leader for this deadly mission. Time and time again, You've shown the Leaf why you are a great leader and shinobi. Itachi thanks Sakamo for the kind words as he would sit back down. Next, we have selected Shisui Uchiha. If you accept, we'd also like you to bring your top 3 ranked Anbu members on this mission as well. Shisui stands, accepting the mission. We've selected the next based on him being a well-rounded shinobi who works well in these type of situations. Kakashi Hatake. I accept. Sakamo then drafts Jiraiya and Tsunade along with Sakura as another medical support ninja, all of which who would accept. For the final members of this squad, we have selected Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha. You two are the strongest of your generation, and your abilities may rival many of the shinobi on this squad. You may be young, but there's no doubt in my mind that you two are ready for this mission. You all will be heading off in a month, so take time to prepare. Naruto is then taken by Jiraiya to Mount Miyaboku to learn Sage Mode, which only takes them 2 weeks to complete it and get it perfected. For the remainder of his time, Naruto prepares himself mentally for this battle. When the date does arrive, the group is given a new outfit to wear. It was a black and gold Jonin uniform with the leaf symbol on its sleeves. They head out together and slowly make their way to the Hidden Rain village. They arrive not too far from the gate as Itachi begins to explain the plan once again. We're going to split up into teams of 4 to enter from each side of the village. Team 1 is me, Sakura, Jiraiya, and Kakashi. Team 2 is Shisui, Sasuke, Naruto, and Tsunade. If you guys find Pain or any Akatsuki members, shoot up a signal into the skies or create some sort of attack so that we can find you. This mission, we may not come back from it, so give it your all. We're not only fighting for the Leaf Village, but we're fighting for the future of all shinobis within this nation. Alright, let's move out. Everyone then throws on their hoods and dashes into their, specific locations. Team 1 goes to the left side and manages to knock out the guards while extracting information from them. Over with Team 2. They made it in, but they alerted the village, which caused more shinobi in robes to come their way. Naruto then clears a path for them and Shisui looks to Sasuke. This is when the two would use the body flicker to run around the village to find what they were looking for, also creating more clones. As this happened, Naruto feels a strange change in the air as he looks up to see Konoha floating above him. Suddenly, her paper wings were then cut down as she begins to fall from the skies. However, a path of pain suddenly catches her and makes it to a ledge. Naruto looks at them and decides to attack once again. As he does, a tail beast is summoned and blocks his path. What the hell? Naruto then sees Sasuke jump right in front of him. He's all mine. The Nine Tails then summoned by Sasuke, as their battle would also begin. Naruto then turns, realizing that all the paths of pain were now surrounding him. As if you could even touch me. All of them begin to rush in, but Naruto dodges each of their attacks. Shisui then appears backing up Naruto and cuts through one of them, as Tsunade would also appear, striking through another, leaving only 3 left. These ones are dealt with by Naruto, and he looks up the tail beast who continued fighting. The 2 tails shoots black and blue flames towards them, towards the 9 tails, and Naruto blocks the attack with wind. Kurama then slams his claws down on the 2 tails, sending it to the ground. A tail beast bomb then forms in its mouth, but his mouth is hit upwards. This is when the 3 tails is also revealed on the battlefield. Sasuke begins to get fired up and asks Kurama if he wants to go all out right here and now. The two would then enter their perfected KCM. Over with Team 1, they were in a heated battle with the Masked Man and Pain himself. Itachi was going against Pain, but the Masked Man was going against Kakashi and Jiraiya, who seemed to be overwhelmed. None of their attacks were even able to land, as Kakashi then figured out that their dojutsu were somehow linked, but that could only mean one thing. This caused them to falter while in battle, leaving them wide open for an attack, but the Masked Man, This attack was blocked by Naruto. The masked man tries to phase away, but his body's cut into multiple pieces by Naruto before he could do anything. And he falls to the ground. A storm then begins, to shadow the land, and Naruto begins to glow. All of the Leaf Shinobi are then surrounded by small tornadoes that teleport them out of the area. This is when Naruto jumps into the sky and he floats there for a moment. Why waste any more time when I could have done this from the beginning? Suddenly, a huge hurricane with red lightning forms in the village, so big that it completely destroys the land, only leaving rubble behind. All the Akatsuki members who were there were killed by this large-scale attack. The only ones who managed to survive were the tail beast, of course. Naruto then floats over the lands, allowing the storm clouds to slowly fade away. The group then returns to the Leaf with the mission complete and no casualties on their side, which was shocking to Fugaku. They only returned with minor injuries. And Naruto tells them that he's going to live in the land of storms, as he believes that's his true home. He gives the location area, to the Leaf Village, as if they ever need him, they can find him, as Sakamo and Kakashi decide to go with him. Years later, Naruto sits on a cliff meditating over the storms, as he hears footsteps behind him. And this is when we would all see a familiar shinobi. So, how about we finish where we left off? A rusted kunai then lands to the leg of Naruto, and the hill next to him is then cut in half. As Naruto tilts his head back, we see Sasuke Uchiha standing there with an eternal Mangekyo Sharingan.